Hey y'all, it's Addison Rae
and Sheri.
Welcome to our podcast, Mama Knows Best, a podcast original. Every week we'll explore the touchy subjects of love, dating, relationships, and growing up.
And I always know best.
Or do you? And just a friendly reminder, you can find episodes of Mama Knows Best for free exclusively on Spotify.
Remember to follow the podcast so you never miss a brand new episode every week.
Today's episode, we're talking about rejection. I feel like rejection just isn't just dating. It's like other things, It could be you're not getting into college you applied to, or, you don't get invited to something. No matter what, rejection is something we all struggle with. Let's get into it. For me, just to jump straight in, when I see the word rejection, I think of me not making the college dance team I tried out for. Before I graduated high school, I've always been a dancer. I've danced since I was, 6 or 7. And I grew up competitively dancing and kind of focusing more on that. So a lot of people, there is a lot of different things on the internet about me that are like, oh, she was an all-star cheerleader, or she was a gymnast, and the only true thing is that I was a competitive dancer, since I was 6 years old. I did do gymnastics. I didn't compete gymnastics. I just did it for fun to learn how to flip. And then I did do cheer, but it was just high school cheer. So it wasn't anything competitive. So no, I didn't do anything other than competitively dance my whole life specifically, besides doing a few other things just for fun here and there. But with that, being a senior in high school, they have at LSU, thinking ahead in high school, I was like, okay, I want to go to LSU. I had already applied, already been accepted. And I was like, all right, Mom, I want to be a Tiger Girl, which is, if you don't know, a Tiger Girl is pretty much a dance team at LSU. And it's not like a cheer squad. They're primarily a competitive dance team. So they compete at nationals and things like that. So I wanted to be a Tiger Girl so bad. So I tried out. As a senior in high school, I tried out. I think you tried out that.
Wasn't that your prom weekend?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I missed my, good point,
senior
Mom.
prom.
I missed my senior prom so that I could try out for the Tiger Girls, which was at LSU. And it was kind of a priorities thing at that point. I obviously would love to have gone to prom, and I just never did. But it was really important to me to make this tryout and try my best to hopefully become a Tiger Girl. And I went to tryouts. I ended up making it past the first round of cuts, which cut the number to 30. And I made it. I was super excited, so close. I ended up not making it past that round. And it was, I think the final number for people that were had officially made it was 22, I think. And so it was super close, super cut short. I didn't make the team. And it was kind of in a way, it definitely, remember, we were kind of relying on it for me to go to LSU, because we were like, if I'm going to go to LSU, I need to make this team. But I didn't. And it ended up being a thing for me and my mom. My mom and my dad and I, and we were like, all right, well, I didn't make the team. So, now what? Because now I'm not going to go to LSU, or what? What was kind of the alternative? And it at the time it was, if I didn't make the team, I wasn't going to go to LSU. So it did suck so bad for me to not make this team, because I was like, oh, that just ruined, my plans and dreams. But luckily I was still in high school at the time, so I still had a lot of time to figure it out. But I didn't make it, and I still went to LSU. That also aligns with the fact that I didn't make that dance team, and then now I'm here today living in Los Angeles, where I've dreamt of living, and it just it all makes sense. And I feel like rejection is a big part of the bigger plan of life, and it's obviously some things aren't meant for you, or, in line for your life, and then it doesn't happen, and you think it's the end of the world, because rejection sucks, and it feels like everything's falling to pieces when you get rejected from something, especially when your goal is that something, or you think that's a part of your life's plan, and then it doesn't work out. But I think building a resilience to that, and being able to bounce back without question, and, just understanding that that wasn't meant for your life, and then something else is better coming, then rejection is kind of helpful in a way.
When you tried out for the dance team and didn't make it, that was tough to see. And I know that you really, really wanted to make the team. But I feel like me telling you that I was proud of you, and that it was going to be okay, that you could try again, you could do it next year. There are a lot of options when it comes to being rejected that you can turn to. So you can improve yourself. You can try to do better. So at that point, I would say, okay, here's what we're going to do. This didn't work out this year, but you can try again. So we're going to take extra steps. We'll take more classes. We'll get better at dancing if that's what you want.
Yeah. Well, like work harder.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like that there's like two sides to rejection. It's like, okay, you get rejected and you bounce back, you know that there's a different plan for your life, or you get rejected and you try harder. You know, you work harder, you become better, and then you go back and try again. But I feel like
if that's what you want.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be able to like really desire that to go back to it and try again.
I feel like that's the point when you decide. Either you want that to continue chasing whatever you've been rejected from, or you don't, and you decide to move on and do something else.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point to make. And I feel like that kind of goes in for like dating or like relationships as well. It's like if you do get rejected, I feel like, you know, you really have to step back and like reevaluate what you want, or like, hey, is it worth going back, trying again? Or is it like, obviously it didn't work, so you go and you move on. You know, you move on to a different path in your life.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Flowers, host of a brand new podcast I think you're really going to love. It's called Very Presidential. Every Tuesday through the 2020 election, Very Presidential exposes the most badly behaved presidents in history, serving up an unfiltered, shocking glimpse at what really went on in the White House. We're talking love affairs, all-night ragers, to blackmail schemes and excessive drug use. I am dishing on presidents like Thomas Jefferson, JFK, Tricky Dicky, and more. These dirty little secrets are a lot wilder than anything you learned in history class. And the scariest part is, they're all true. To hear more, follow my new Parcast original, Very Presidential with Ashley Flowers. It's free on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can catch new episodes every Tuesday.
Now we're going to discuss being on the other side of rejection. In other words, how to reject someone in a nice, kind way. I feel like I'm horrible at this. I am not in a single part of a place to tell anyone how they should or shouldn't reject people, because I also am horrible at it. But I will say, I would think the best way to reject someone in a respectful, kind way is to just be honest.
Yes, I would agree.
Just be, like, I feel like that's the only tip I have for that. Just be real, be honest, be straight up.
Which is why I'm really good at it, is because I'm mostly pretty real and honest, and I can do that easily, especially when it comes to you.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think it's easy to be honest with each other for me and you because like we're stuck knowing each other. You know what I mean? Like, I'm stuck with you. I'm kidding. Not unfortunately. But telling someone no is the most difficult thing for me to do.
Yes,
and
I agree it is.
You know that. You've known that for years now. Like, it's like I cannot say no. And it's like the worst. It's like a battle in my head. Like, do I want to upset someone and say no? And I think that's so hard for me. And I literally try to say yes to everything, which gets me in pickles.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, as much as I can be a yes person to everyone, I will be. If I can do it, or if I'm in a position that I'm like, gosh, I just can't say no to this person. I can't. I care about them. I love them. I don't want them to, I don't know, even if it's not a big deal, I just can't bring myself to say no. Like, if someone's like, hey, can you come over tonight just for like 30 minutes? And I'm like, I can't. Like, I don't have time. I do not have time to go over for 30 minutes, but I cannot say no. And I'm like, yeah, I'll make it work. I got to do it. I'll make it work for you. Sure, I'm on the way, whatever. You know, like, I just can't bring myself to say no, which is a good thing in a lot of places because it's like, it shows that I truly do care about everyone that I talk to and like their time matters to me. But at the same time, it's like I can't find a way to prioritize like what is important for me.
Right. You have to learn to care for yourself in the same way.
And I don't sometimes. Sometimes I put everyone else so far ahead of me that it's like really hard for me to do anything for me. And like, I really am just such a caring person, you know? And like, I really do care about people's feelings except for yours. And
I agree.
I'm kidding. But it is easier to say no to you because you're my mom and like, you're stuck with me. So, If I ever have to ask my parents for anything, I will ask my dad, let me just reverse. My mom will reject me with compassion. I feel like you'll reject me from that. Like, you won't give me it. Like, when I got in my like wrecks before, I will not call my mom because she'll literally disregard me completely and like literally reject my feelings and like me being upset. And you're like, I cannot believe you did this. And I remember my first wreck that I got into ever. I called my dad because I know my dad's just like way more lenient on me. Like but then at the same time, you're pretty not strict too. Okay, my parents both have like loosened up a lot, but I will say my dad is a little less caring about those kind of things because I get it from him. You know what I mean? Things that I do because of my dad, he doesn't get mad at me about, but my mom does because she doesn't do those things. So it's like you're like, oh my God, how could you do this? And I'm like, Mom, I'm literally a spawn of the devil. I'm kidding. My dad is not the devil. It was a joke. But no, I'm a spawn of dad, and he literally does all the things that, like, that's where I got it from. So she'll literally reject my heart at those moments and be like, I'm not talking to you. Give me your car keys, get in your room, and you can't do this, and this for the next 2 weeks.
It's called parenting.
Weird. I don't like it. Kidding.
Dad doesn't either.
Touche. No, I feel like Dad doesn't say no because he just loves me.
No, that's not true. No.
Maybe we need Dad's input on this.
If you love someone, you have to say no.
Dad.
That's how it goes.
But I am moving out next year. Woo!
Wait, I think we already talked about this. It wasn't going to be in a year. You said 4. I think it's on record too.
Mom, the beach is calling my name.
So there's a beach right here. It's like very close.
No, not close enough.
That's really fine. I like the beach too. Okay, I'll go.
This is the time when I have to use my rejection mechanism. No.
Let's see how
you
it's
can't.
so easy for you all of a sudden.
See, I'm being honest. No. The answer is no.
It's so easy.
So now that we talk rejecting someone, we can go back and talk about how to bounce back from getting rejected. Up next. So now that we've discussed types of rejections and how we feel when it happens, and also how to reject someone, we have some advice on how to get through it and bounce back. I feel like you're not very good at helping me through rejection.
I probably just say, get over it.
Yeah, you do. And you're like, that's it. Get over it. And then we move along. And then I cry in my room for 6 months. And
I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? What can I do? Can I help you?
No, because you know you can't. I don't know. I feel like rejection is something that you have to just deal with yourself in a way. It's almost like an ego thing, you know, getting rejected and then being like really mad about it. It's just like feeding your ego, kind of like being like, I'm going to do this and whatever. And then if you don't do it, you're like mad at yourself, you know, but which is understandable. I feel like people set goals for themselves. And when you can't meet those goals, you get mad, you know, like you're like, why did I get rejected? Like, that's so annoying because I worked hard for this, or I loved this, or I wanted this. And then you get rejected and it's like your ego just can't deal with the fact that you didn't get it.
Right. And then there's different types of people. There's optimists, pessimists.
You're a pessimist.
Exactly. So I have already told myself no before I get the no. So
see, I'm a yes man to myself.
I don't feel like I struggle with rejection. I'm fine with it. I've actually already prepared myself for it by saying no to myself.
Well, luckily, guys, I live on the bright side of life. So,
well, I wouldn't say it's negative.
I would,
because I'm never sad about it enough to.
But it's almost like manifesting.
So I think that everything's going to be okay no matter what.
I mean, yeah, I like that. I like this side of things. But
so
I feel like
that's kind of optimist.
But don't manifest a no. You know what I mean? Like, you're in your head, you're convincing yourself it's a no.
No, I'm preparing myself for a no. I'm not convincing myself that it's a no.
Okay, I see that. I feel like in situations, rejection means it's not meant for you. But I will say another way to look at it is like try one more time. And then, if that's like a personal thing, like if you didn't work hard enough the first time and you got rejected, work harder and then try again. But if you worked really hard and put a lot into that and then it just didn't work out, that's to me the situation when you really start just exploring other paths. But if it's something that you can fix and change after you get rejected and you want to do that and that's what, you feel like is what's right, then by all means try, work harder, be better, try again.
Yes, and sometimes it won't work out. And you have to be okay with that also. You need to be okay when you're way up, happy and not being rejected, but you also need to be okay when you are being rejected.
I feel that. And I think that comes with your insight. That's your heart. That's deciding like, hey, I'm going to be okay and I'm going to either try something else or I'm going to try harder next time. And then another thing I feel like is just a recovery method would have to be like, surround yourself with people you love and that care about you.
Right. And talk to people and talk to somebody that you love and care about. Talk to somebody that can help you through it.
Yeah. Start a podcast, vent about your feelings. Mm-hmm. And then, I feel like it always helps to talk. So a recovery method for sure for me would be just to talk it out. If I get rejected from something, I just like to talk about it a lot, I don't know. I feel like it makes me get over it because I'm like annoyed. In a way, you know what I mean? Like if I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do this. I can't believe they said no.
You start to annoy yourself.
Yeah.
And then you get over it.
And then I get over it. And then I build a bridge and I get over it. That is our little spill on rejection, which is not the greatest advice you probably ever heard, but it's something and it's our experience. So I think in the end, if you get rejected, always just know in your heart, there's either something better or you can just continue to work towards that goal again and focus more on, growing through it and then understanding what you need to do to kind of elevate yourself from that and then become better.
Right. I feel like if it's causing a tremendous amount of pain, then I think you need to redirect.
Reevaluate if it's worth you or if it's meant for you.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think if
it shouldn't be causing that much pain, you should you should do something else.
Yeah, like I said, rejection is inevitable, and sometimes it just means that it's not meant for you. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week with hopefully another great episode.
You can find all episodes of Mama Knows Best for free exclusively on Spotify.
Don't forget to follow the podcast, and we'll bring you a brand new episode every week.
And if you like this show, follow @Parcast on Instagram and @Parcast Network on Twitter.
And if you guys have any questions or topics that you guys want us to talk about, you can tweet me @WhoIsAddison or find me on Instagram and DM me @Addison Rae with 2 E's at the end.
Or me @Sheri Nicole, that's 2 E's at the end, on Twitter and @Sheri Easterling on Instagram.
Thank you guys again for listening. We love y'all so much. See you next time. Mama Knows Best is a Parcast Studios original. It is executive produced by Max Cutler. Sound designed by Jamie Ryan. It's produced by Kristen Acevedo, John Cohen, and Jonathan Ratliff. Mama Knows Best stars Addison Rae and Sheri Nicole.